Hello, nobody. Fun fact, if you change when you go live by 7 hours and then last minute move it to an hour before that, nobody shows up. This is a YouTube hack for if you don't want to succeed. But yeah, I just thing is I'm on a weird sleep schedule right now. And so um odds are wait, hey, we got two people here. Thank y'all for stopping by. All right. I was genuinely thinking, no way anyone would show up this early. But, I underestimated how Sigma my community was. Mhm. But yeah, I am on a weird sleep schedule. Yesterday I woke up at like 4 p.m., 4 or 5. Yeah, and I'm probably going to wake up around like 5 to 6 p.m., maybe 7 today. And so, I've been working for a bit, but I do think I've made some pretty cool stuff. Let me actually open that cool stuff. Um, yeah, I haven't, I haven't slept in a bit. Let's see. So it's 10 a.m. If I woke up at, actually, I can figure this out pretty directly because I have no life. And so, if I want to figure out when I woke up, I just go to when I sat down on my computer yesterday, which was 5:15 p.m. So I have been working, let's do some math, for 17 hours. Thought I'd round it up with something easy like live streaming. You know how it is. IRTR Comics. We will be adding a lot more hats and assets and stuff. So don't you worry. I'm not promising anything specific, but just know that you're gonna have a lot more options. All right? Yeah. So yeah, no, my sleep schedule has not been amazing recently. It's a skill issue on my part, really. But problem is I'm always more of a night owl. I prefer it when it's dark. I prefer it when it's just a little quieter, a little more peaceful. I feel like there's something in my soul that really vibes with like that midnight, just quiet, that 2 a.m. feel. And yeah, it's just it's not uncommon for me to be on that schedule. IRTR, we're going to definitely have a lot more helmets. As to what specifically is that means, we're going to be going at one at a time. At the end of the day, this is not a medieval role play game. So uh, it'll have to be a knight's hat that would be reusable in things that are not just knights. Like I can imagine sort of like a warrior's helmet working a little bit better than like a pure like knight's visor helm kind of thing, because that's a very specific look, which doesn't necessarily translate to a lot of other characters. But we'll see. That's the thing. I'm not saying no. I'm saying these are my priorities, and you know that's how things are. But yeah, so let me show y'all. Who wants to see debuted for the first time version 1 of the character editor in its most basic form? Yeah, the basically you navigate through the different areas here, and there are these different subcategories. Um, each page has its own menus. Let me actually move this around so that I can not be. Yeah, and then of course if you select something, you can like add it, apply it to your character. Also, it supports portrait mode, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, so you can have all these different. Hey there, Jimmy Dogwets. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, early stream, and I'm really excited with how the how it actually got like all these different. It just sort of flows together very nicely. Now, obviously, you need to add a bunch of icons. These aren't actually items yet, but I'm pretty happy with how things are turning out. We can actually see in terms of creating it, it's the entire thing is structured with these giant complex data structures that are made. It's literally a couple hundred lines long of just defining the different focuses. Now we're going to be, as you can see right now, a lot of the menus don't exist. Right now we only have the adding stuff in. Um, yeah, but still, uh, when's Superhero Life 4 coming? Well, technically, you're looking at it to an extent. The current strategy is to remake, because I guess we have to accept it's been, what, 4 to 5 years since I started working on Superhero Life 4. Um, I obviously can't handle that, you know? Like, it got stuck in development purgatory. And so I'm like, okay, y'all need a superhero life game. It's been too long. It's been, hey, there's Aiden. Welcome back. It's been a, you know, too long of a time since I last released a superhero life game. Superhero Life 3 came out at the end of 2018. That was 6 years ago. It's the time between Superhero Life 1 and Superhero Life 3 is half that of Superhero Life 3 and nothing. And so, yeah, well, that's the thing. I haven't just quit. I promise you. What do you think you're looking at? Where it's a character editor. I'm obviously still working on it. The thing is, here's the current strategy. We're going to start by building out the systems by remaking and modernizing the previous Superhero Life games. Then, once we have all the games unified under a single code, we will essentially built out all of these different systems. And then the idea is once we've gotten all the systems built out, we can then use that as a foundation for just making Superhero Life 4. That way, you don't have the situation where I'm sure as you've noticed, Zappy, like Superhero Life 2 is pretty old. Things are falling apart. It doesn't get too many updates, and that's on me. That's definitely on me. I'm really not good at updating a game after they're out. The problem is the stress of it because especially back then, because I had a very unsafe workflow where bugs were very common, and making a small change in one area could cause bugs throughout the entire game. And hey there, Eric, good to see you. And the problem with that is when you have hundreds and sometimes thousands of people in your game, and a single change can cause a bunch of bugs, you very quickly learn to not change much. And so since then though, that was literally almost a decade ago, and I've gotten a lot better at programming. All of my code is type safe. I have a lot more tests set up, and I can make some pretty cool stuff pretty quickly now. Like for example, I don't know about y'all, I think my UI has gotten a lot better since I first started. Well, the reason I don't hire people, Zappy, is because this game doesn't really make any money. So it came out 6 years ago. Makes like $100 a month. Yeah, it's past its time. And also for the most part, like while I do like seeing the fan made remake, there is definitely a difference between a hobbyist developer, which I know this because that's what I started as. I started out making video games as just kind of a hobby, and a full-time one, with literally like a lot of industry experience and doing stuff like the actually onboarding someone into that workflow takes a lot of pressure. And so if I would work with someone else, they would have to be someone who is a full-time game developer like me, who has, many years of experience like I do. Otherwise, in my experience, it just causes, things to slow down and a degree of friction. And so, yeah, you kind of have a situation where until I can get this game out, I don't really have, the ability to expand this operation much. But also, for what it's worth, even if I was a millionaire and could like throw money at this, I don't know if I would. Like, I like making games. I like it when y'all play the games, sure, but I made these games long before people played them. I made them because I enjoy making them. And it's kind of like, why don't you hire people to eat some of your birthday cake? It's like by all means, I'm happy to share my birthday cake with my friends. My friend Ryan is a very talented game developer, and I could totally imagine making something with him at some point. But I'm not going to pay someone to eat my birthday cake. Yeah, it's and so yeah, I don't know. Like from a purely business perspective, it does make sense to hire people once you have revenue for that. Um, I appreciate exactly, and they do. They really do. Honestly, the thing is, I've mapped out the exact success sequence you need to take for a game to succeed on Roblox, and it means you got to get a certain retention rates, you got to get certain social levels, and those are perfectly achievable. And I think that this game's going to do well. I just got to release it. The problem is I'm a lot better a developer than I am a producer. I'm really good at making some cool things, but actually getting it out of the tech demo phase, that's my stumbling point. So hopefully this is the conclusion of my character arc, and I will have something pretty fun. But yeah, no, thank you for stopping by, Zappy. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the game when it comes out. And the let's see, I think. Oh, y'all want to see what it looks like in dark mode? I really like it in dark mode. Beautiful. It just feels right. Honestly, I know that nobody here cares about portrait mode. I love portrait mode. It feels so much more intuitive. I'm glad to hear that we're synced up, Eric. I have been working for 17 hours, and I just wanted to get a stream out of the way because the thing is, either I stay up a little bit longer to do the stream now, or I have to wait, or I have to wake up earlier, which is like either we do it now or like at 9 p.m. Mountain Time when everyone's asleep on the East Coast. Um, No, no, you're completely correct, Jimmy Dogwitz. That's because I built this mobile first. This is meant to be, the fact that I'm using the mobile emulator is not an accident, because 70% of my audience is mobile. You wouldn't believe it, but so many people are currently suffering from the horrible UI I made back in 2017. And so my hope is that we're going to be able to make some really good stuff here. Um, And by the way, I think that for the most part, it's also really cool just to be able to see how this all fits together now. Like, let's uh, let's go with actual resolution. Um, like, okay, so if you check this out, like here are the categories that we are aiming at. So we can, there's body and hair. Do I really want those two words right next to each other? Oh well, we'll think about it. Um, Yeah, yeah, well, you're completely correct, G-Bug. Basically, that's what everyone recommends in terms of porting a game to mobile. You make it for mobile because mobile is for the most part backwards compatible with PC, but PC is definitely not backwards compatible to mobile. Yeah, 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 you're probably right. I think really what I'll end up doing is we're just going to find a third category to customize, you know? hair body, because the thing is, I feel like there should be another layer to this, because you have so many categories for the armor, so many categories for the outfit, and then you just have two for the actual face. Yeah, face is probably the one we'll have to add. We'll have like a face category, but right now there's no face customization. But that is probably what we're going to do in the next iteration of it. So we're gonna remove all the body hair issues. Number day one patch notes. No, but we'll probably get that done in the next few days. Um, but yeah, and like I'm actually pretty happy with the direction things are going in terms of how it's customizing, because you have all these really cool little sub organization. I think it's a lot more easy to navigate. Like, okay, so here are the different, like, you can get glasses, mouth cover, bracelets, necklaces, all that stuff. We have some new additions to the canon, as it were. Um, hair, body, and face. Name a more iconic trio. I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all could tell this. When I'm sleep deprived, because I have been working for like 18 hours, I've noticed my brain actually just gives me more energy, and that's probably why I don't have a good sleep schedule. It's like where other people get tired, I'll just loop back around and be like mania, you know. And yeah, it's the source of the autistic riz. Let's see the all right. So I'm happy to say that in terms of yeah, I'll do my best, G-Bug, I promise. The but no, like I'm just really happy with how this is looking. The because you can see that like this is just once I start hooking up these actual items. Because also here's some other stuff. We're gonna have a not everything is hooked up yet. For one, the camera is gonna move dynamically based on how things are selected. Like if you check out the data structures I set up for all this. There's a title, there's an icon, but there's also something called a focus definition. And the focus definition will allow for me to say like, okay, we want to look at this part of the character, and then have it handle that. We'll also be able to do zoom, rotating around it, all that stuff will look really good. And then finally, notice how there's a little apply button right here. This is a nice first step. But what I want to do is I want to add an entire new layer of it for different tools. And if we check this out, right now I have four tools in mind. A purchase tool, so that if there's an in-game item, you can purchase it for your avatar. This isn't so much from like a user perspective. People aren't really demanding this of me. This is more of a, if I want to be able to sell UGC people on letting me use their assets in the game, um, I got to be able to make them purchasable, which I think is fair. I think that's fair of them to ask. And so this is less of a um, like, oh yeah, people have been demanding, I want to buy that hat, and more of like if we allow people to buy the hat, we can have some really cool hats. Um, so glowing eyes will be interesting because I know that there are UGC face stuff, and so I'm going to look into that. But I can say that this surface appearance is actually, um, like it's very much a thing. The glowing part will have to be worked on. Um, but yeah, I do really like glowing eyes though, so I'm not giving up on it. I just right now with because I want to support the dynamic heads. Um, because I think that for the whenever possible, I want to. This is why I do layered clothing as well to an extent. When Roblox is pushing something in a certain direction, I want to go with that. I don't want to go against it. And I think that like in maybe 3 or 4 years, when layered clothing is like perfect or something, or better even. Um, so use the glowing text like Superhero Life 3. I do not know. Glowing text. I don't remember what that means. I'm sorry. I haven't played that game in a while. Oh, don't get me started. Jimmy Douglas is too. Does this look like a man who's ready to talk about that? I did watch the Deadpool movie though. Deadpool movie was great. I was so pessimistic about it before going in, but it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Let's see. I don't know if I'd say it was like a great movie for anyone who isn't a comic book like Marvel nerd. Uh, but thankfully, I have like half a dozen superhero games under my belt, so I think I qualify. Um, hey there, welcome to the chat. Um, this is so the current strategy is I am remaking Superhero Life 2 and I'm keeping the code reusable so that when we finish remaking Superhero Life 2, we can immediately use that system for Superhero Life 4. That means that what you're looking at right here is to an extent the Superhero Life 4 character editor. It is the the Superhero Life 4 customization system. Uh, so we're getting the systems part out of the way. And then we're just going to make Superhero Life 4 like, okay, let's make some really cool maps, some really cool progression systems. Let's layer things onto it. Let's get the foundation right so that Superhero Life 4 can just build on that. And so yeah, so in a sense, you are looking at Superhero Life 4 to an extent. Um, but yeah, oh yeah, no, I miss Marvel Nerd too. He made some good videos. I loved watching his like reaction to Superhero Life 4 news. That made me really happy. In fairness, I stopped giving him good news to respond to for Superhero Life 4, so that's on me. Well, I completely agree about the vehicles. In fact, I'm going to be adding them to Superhero Life 2 because I'm not sure if y'all remember. There are vehicles in Superhero Life 2. They're just really bad, so nobody uses them. Um, since I'm remaking it, I got to remake them good. So we're going to have vehicles. Um, I don't know how far we're going to go into it in terms of customization, but at the very least, we can make something better than I did in an afternoon 7 years ago. Believe it or not, we can in fact do better than that. Um, yeah, no, I definitely am not going. I'm not going to go for like some hyper realistic. This isn't going to be like Beam NG or something. This is going to be it's going to, especially because how like small the streets are, you're gonna have to be able to take turns really, really quickly, Um, GTA GTA Lite honestly might not even be enough. We might have to go like GTA Extreme because if you want to go fast in any of the superhero life maps, like you have to be able to take turns really absurdly. Um, so we'll just have to see how that works. Honestly, it might just be a thing where like we just restrict things to like motorcycles, you know? Because you can imagine a motorcycle being able to take those turns a lot better than a car. Um, and so we'll see. We might end up going like a motorcycle thing. Yeah, yeah. No, that avatar has been there for a while. Um, yeah. The problem is, I think I like to think of that as like a curse almost on the game, like as a punishment for my um, ambition, for my arrogance as a developer, and thinking that I could make a really cool game with a one-person team. In less than a decade. Which actually, at 7 years, we're probably going to hit less than a decade. So the but yeah, no, me being frozen there, I will be thawing out. Spring is coming for Superhero Life 2. Um, I will be free from my icy prison, and I'll probably put myself in like an apartment building in the new map or something. Which, by the way, I don't know how many of y'all have seen it because I know that we have a lot of people here checking in for the first time because I'm doing a different time. So say hello to the new Superhero Life 2 map. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not rejecting suggestions for the revamp. I'm not going to be like, ha ha ha, this is your idea, tears it up in front of you. No, like it's just more of like right now we have a lot of momentum going in a certain direction. And if your idea is one that doesn't necessarily make us change course, like it's probably too late for us to, uh, go back and make every building destructible, but I think if your suggestion is like adding a certain type of character asset or a certain type of superpower, that's still very much on the table and very much available. Thank you, Razor64. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I'm really liking the map. It just looks good. The trees are my least favorite part though, because they don't look the right art style, but I also don't have any good tree assets. Because the only tree assets I have are either this hyper realistic stuff or like some of the most low poly stuff ever. Oh, like a clock? Okay. Honestly, that is probably doable. In fact, check this out. We have a clock tower here now, kind of. We could probably add like a little. We could definitely have it be have like the bell. I guess the question is, would there? Maybe we could put like a clock like right here, But we could also do it as a UI thing. I'm not sure if you're thinking of it more as like a UI thing or just more as like a general thing. But yeah, no, like obviously the studio is called Nightcycle. We're gonna have to have a day in Nightcycle. And with that, having time, we'll be tracking time on the back end. So making it readable for someone else, that's definitely doable. So yeah, good suggestion. Um, but yeah, the Notre Dame. Yeah, honestly, that's actually a lot of the core vision for the original Superhero Life 2 design, and that I do think I've recaptured in many ways, is that every part of the map should be a place where something dramatic happens. Like, so unless I'm misremembering, I don't think there's a police station in Superhero Life 2. There is one in Superhero Life 3, and we're going to be doing some fun NPC stuff with that. Uh, but in Superhero Life 2, I think we only have a hospital. But a fire, okay, I will say, I don't know about a fire station. I definitely want to have superheroes saving people from a burning building. That is something I totally want to do. The question is what? The question is where on like the to-do list do we add that? But that is something I do want to do. I want the heroes to save people. It's a critique I've been leveling at DC for years. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and just do it myself eventually. I'm great at doing things. I'm not great at finishing them. It's just the scope just evolves into a never-ending task. Weather change Game Pass? Maybe. I don't know how I feel about a lot of my old Game Pass decisions because on the one hand, they sold okay, and like people liked what they offered. But on the other hand, I almost wonder like, would this have just been better to be free? Like would I have gotten more users in a way that offset that if I just sort of let it make the game overall better? And with that, that's what I'm trying to do with custom servers a lot. I'm trying to get those to be. I want custom servers to be overpowered. I want it so that if you make a custom server, it should be like a creative mode almost. Like you should be able to put props all over stuff. You should be able to spawn certain NPCs. You should be able to set the lighting and the weather and all that stuff. You should be able to, enforce your own rules, your own game mechanics. Like the dream is that eventually creative servers will feel like a sandbox that you have complete control over. Um, Thank you. I appreciate it. I believe it or not, I act even though I do mostly programming these days. Um, I started out as an environmental artist, and my only game dev degree is in game art. And so it feels good whenever I get to make something that looks nice. Yeah, no, no, we're definitely gonna get that in there, Gbug. Um, it sounds fair. So weather change powers are interesting. I I don't know how I feel about it because on the one hand, I get it. Like I get why you'd want to be able to do that. That's very cool on an individual level. The problem is, how does that end up working when you have two people with weather powers? When one person is doing lightning storm, the other person's doing snowstorm, and then the other person's doing like power of the sun, like like clear it all. Like when because weather is sort of you can have one weather per area. Like and I think that when you have things like it's kind of like the issues with time travel or like time freezing time. Like it's just in a multiplayer game, you can't empower every player to like God level. You have to limit it or have to balance it in some way. I am more open to the idea of like there being certain powers that you can use like after like let's say that you have like four quests and you complete those four quests in a row. And then after you complete those four quests, you get like one superpower that you can use once. Like sort of like the Infinity Gauntlet, kind of like just snap your fingers. And you could just do something absurdly overpowered once. I think that I could see a weather power kind of working like that. Like you can literally like summon a hurricane or something. Like to me, that is how you balance weather in these kind of games. In these kind of interesting, like in a way that both leaves the player feeling like a really powerful person, while at the same time not ruining the game for anyone else. That's the thing. Could I add lightning power? So, shooting lightning from the hand, I think that is that in Superhero Life too? Could somebody refer? I feel like there's a lightning power somewhere. Is it in three? It's somewhere. There's a lightning power some. I don't know how. Um, Okay. So in that case, okay, so there is a lightning blast. So in that case, yeah, we should be able to definitely have a lightning power in Super Hero 2, and we're going to expand on it a lot more. Right now we have support for layered powers. That means you can have a sword in one hand, gun in the other hand, and then be flying while you use both of them. And that was a headache to get working, but it works. Um, so yeah, Superhero Life 3 is just a better game in terms of how it was built. It just is a worse game in terms of how it was designed. So none of the better engineering mattered. Hopefully, I've corrected for that by now. I am adding more functionality to the existing powers, and I am adding one new power, which is growing and shrinking. That is a power which is being added. Um, let's see. The and so I guess so. Sounds fair to answer your question though. Some powers can be occupied by a player in the server. My main worry with that is save data. I don't want. There are certainly times where you could have like a single player owning something, which could be kind of cool. But powers, I feel like that isn't a finite resource. Like if everyone wants to be a speedster, let them. Like I don't want to restrict it in that way. That feels like a step backwards in a few different areas. But yeah, I'd much rather just have these kind of weather things be like something you sort of gain through in-game effort. Hey there, heroes, welcome back. Um, yeah, so growing and shrinking. Yeah, so growing and shrinking would definitely be cool. Oh yeah, hey there, Ryan, welcome. Oh, Ryan, check this out. I've improved it so much since you last saw it. I also haven't slept since then. Um, let's see. So let's actually open up. I want to see it in. Still navigating this. Okay. So check it out. We have all these different Look at it. You have all like these different things, and my favorite mode for it is when you rotate it and it does like the full screen thing. Um, so that feels very good. And then yeah, I can just apply, finally applying myself. But anyway, no, I have slept since Friday. I just haven't slept since Sunday. I appreciate it. Thank you for subbing. Hope you enjoy the game and the streams leading up to its eventual release. So I love phasing too, Sparrow. The main issue is how do you design a map that supports that? And that's kind of the big drawback. Like it's one of those powers. Like I have gotten a little bit better since Superhero 2. We're going to be able to have telekinesis probably because a lot of stuff will be destructible. Like check out like these trees and these lampposts and stuff. You'll probably be able to pick that up and then just throw it at someone. So telekinesis is now viable. I don't know how to do wall phasing without literally doing like procedurally generated interior environments for everything, which don't get me wrong, sounds cool, but I can tell you from having done a lot of procedurally generated stuff, like for example, the map, as some of y'all remember, is procedurally decorated. You remember it took me like 3 or 4 days to get these windows to just show up in the right spot. Having a fully nice feeling interior that generates randomly as opposed to this void, that would take weeks, if not months. And frankly, I think that that's a lot of effort to sink in for a single power. If we build out the generation system to support that just by happenstance, just to get some cool like destruction mechanics or something, then that'll be one thing. But I don't want to go in that direction specifically for phasing. But it is very cool. Okay, let's see. Yeah, yeah. No, you're completely right here. Yeah, the will computer be added to the rooms in the apartment? Yeah. So right now, the apartments we have these spaces for them blocked out. We're actually splitting up the apartment building into a few buildings. You'll be able to live in this building right here, which is the closest to the original one. You'll also be able to live in the bank building, and you'll be able to live in a new building added right here. The reason for splitting it is because the original building was actually absurdly massive and blocky, and it was just hard to rationalize what with the sizing. And so this was the best way to fit it all. And frankly, I think that's kind of nice. I kind of like that there are multiple buildings because you can have like this one could be like the fancy one. You can have like you can almost imagine the Whole Foods right here. Um, you know, and then there's the bank one. You can have this one. Anyway, I like that there's a little bit more variety. So base is currently unlocked to the exact same size, but you'll be able to do more with it, hopefully. Let's see. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, the storefronts I'm really proud of because it's all procedurally generated as well. Like the game looks so much better. Like just because I invested a little bit of time into the code. Just like beautiful. Technical artist, not just an environmental artist, not just a programmer, technical artist. Okay. Um, Freeze breath is cool. It is not currently on the power list. We'll see. I have a Kofi thing. Here's the thing. I have a Ko-fi link. Um, in it there's a thing where y'all can buy for 35 bucks any power to be added to the game. It's a long story, but you can. And so, if y'all want to pool together your money to get a cool power in there, yeah, it's yeah, I can. Yeah, it's just on my Kofi. Yeah, the it's a long story. It's a collaboration with another studio I do some stuff with. Um, and so yeah, custom weapon. and you can have a custom power added. That's how you got weapon scale. That's how you got character resizing. I have not wanted to do character resizing for years because it was such a headache to do. But then a very nice community member decided to invest in making the game better for everyone else and overcome my own laziness. And so yeah, that's the current strategy. Yeah, there's only I think what three or so available, three or so many available. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess technically, if you wanted to buy a power for you only, I guess I am okay with that. It feels like a waste. I'm not okay. I'm not gonna make a really difficult power just for you, but if it's a silly one, I will make it just for you. Okay? Does that make sense? Um, but yeah. Also, I feel like am I planning on adding a working ship? Sorry, I'm falling behind on the messages. Um, planning and wanting are different things in my soul right now. Ever since adding these ships, I have been imagining how they could like sort of float up to it, get filled up, and then leave on like sort of a loop, you know? I've been just dreaming of it. But there is no point in the specific roadmap right now where I actually have the time to do that. Because there are just so many other things to do first. But like that's the goal of this remake to create a solid foundation so I can just add nice little things over the years. Like this will be a game which gets updated once a month until the 2040s. That's the dream at least. And so hopefully we'll get to a lot of that cool stuff. Um, raining hot dogs power. A raining food power would be very fun. Um, oh no, heroes. Please behave. Please don't make me do anything that will hurt my soul. Yeah, the y'all are already getting like resizing powers. You can be a giant or a tiny thing. Lord knows how that's gonna work, but I gotta do it. I promised, and so it's gonna happen. It's just just gotta get on that. It is gonna be cool. That's the thing. Like that's why I'm not upset about it. Like I it adds a little bit to my blood pressure, but in like a good way. Like like honestly, like by all means, like if y'all want to, that sounds cool. It's like that's why this thing's for sale because like I know that y'all have cool ideas, and whenever I have to decide which ones to go with, I have to balance out like how much time will this take me? Like how much of a headache will be for me to do, and then I optimize it so that I can get something cool without going crazy. But like yeah, no, by all means, there's no rush. Obviously, don't none of y'all are welcome here for free. It's a free to play game. Please do not feel pressured at all. But yeah, that is something that is available for those who like. Um, yeah, we our goal is to make something fun here for everyone here to play. Um, were you making the boss in combat mode? So there is so I believe you're talking about there used to be a boss battle for against a thing called Calamaton. That was very cool, and we're definitely bringing that back somehow because that was too cool of a boss battle. As to exactly under what context, I don't really know yet because that was a one-off event, and so how we actually make that into the game again, that'll be interesting. We have to figure that out. Yeah, the pocket dimension would be very fun. The So a mind read shield. I actually silent you bring up an interesting idea, which is it's one that I've considered a few times in terms of can you buy resistances to other powers, like for example, being bulletproof, or maybe not buy. Sorry, buy is probably the wrong word. Can you acquire them through an in-game progression? I don't even know if I want to monetize it. Monetizing progression always feels messy, but at the same time, like if you're not going to monetize that, what are you going to monetize? Like because I can't monetize the cosmetics because it's a customization game. I tried that in Superhero Life 3. Everyone hated it. It went badly. So if you can't monetize the cosmetics and monetizing the progression feels weird, you just kind of get stuck. But anyway, point is, I've been wanting to make it so that you can be bulletproof, and then now all the guns don't work against you. You can be fireproof. Now all the fire doesn't work against you. I want you to be able to spec into certain resistances. However, I want that Superman catch. I want that kryptonite weakness. If you are able to be resilient to something, it should come at a cost something else. Like maybe you're fireproof, but man, can ice mess you up? You know, like you're bulletproof, but poison will dissolve you instantly. I think that that's the way you make it fun. You make sure that it really it my ideal power customization system is just that time on the playground when you and your friends would sit around and say to each other, "Would you rather have four arms, but each arm only has three fingers?" Like like just like have all those sort of kind of like what ifs, and then you got to decide like, okay, what can I strategically do in this situation? Is this cost something which I can work around? Um, I definitely don't want to make abilities a Game Pass locked. That seems rough. So passive abilities, yeah. If passive stuff is added, it definitely wouldn't be a power slot. In fact, I don't even think that you'd have to have a finite limit. Like if you wanted to take all the passive abilities and also be burdened with all the consequences of them, like, all right, yeah, you know, if you keep returning to the monkey's paw, like, yeah, all right. Hey, like I think that'd be very funny. Like, what would that person even be like? Like, they're a person with absurd resistance to half of things and immediate death to everything else. Like, uh, that'd be fun. I wonder what would happen with like if you have a one. I guess if you have a weakness and a buff added for the same aspect, it would probably just cancel things out. You know? So like that would probably just so that probably would just lead to a very normal person if you applied all of them at once. Um, but yeah, that's basically the goal. Um, I think for right now, though, obviously we're still in like the customization phase, which is going along nicely. Like, just remember, like look back at the previous stream. Look at how far we have come since then. Also, fun fact: Roblox can't really tell. Well, Roblox can tell. They just don't tell us because why would they tell us? Um, if you're using a tablet or a PC for the most part, or like a phone, like phone versus tablet. And so to some extent, you just kind of got to guess based on the dimensions. Okay. And you can see it just jumps into these different modes. Like it'll go from like, okay, this is probably a tablet. This is probably portrait mode, you know? And so you can see it's trying its best to fit everything. You can see how that camera system I set up is trying its hardest to keep the head focused in the center. Honestly, it's handling it better than I thought it would. I'm proud of it. Let's see. Bulletproof, but Nerf guns kill you. Yeah, yeah, bulletproof, but the sound the gun makes kills you. Um, let's see. If I bought all three of the power slots, hypothetically, could this set up a vote thing? Like, so I could see what the player base wants most. So two slots are player based and the last one me. I mean, like, I think how many are left? I There's only two slots left. Someone already bought the first one. That's how y'all got the sizing superpower. That's how that's locked in. So there are two available. Uh, my worry is with a vote, you will have a joke power win, as is often the case. By all means, though, let democracy guide your hand. But I do think, for the most part, the game will probably be better off if you use your own experience with it. But like at the end of the day, like so long as it's not a joke power, if it's a joke power, I think that that'll be like I'd much rather, in a sense, do something absurdly difficult that's cool than like spend a day be out. Oh yes, democracy. Um, yeah, like I think that I I want this to be an opportunity for y'all to get like a thing y'all been wanting for a long time. Like force my hand to make something really cool in the game, which I otherwise would have avoided for efficiency reasons. But yeah, that is that's the current strategy for there. If you do buy two of them, I appreciate it. I will do my best to make them as cool as possible. But yeah, whatever works best. I know that this is a very unique circumstance, so this isn't going to be like a thing which I necessarily do every month. But yeah, asking for let's see, what are the ones that I'm least likely to add? Hmm, it's a tough question. Shape shifting into animals. That's one that I've been really not wanting to do because that's a lot of animation and rigging for a single power. Um, let's see. What else have I been asked for over the years? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I saying these things? I'm just making my own life harder. Okay. Water powers, but good. Like, yeah, no, there's a strong minority in the superhero 2 community which has been begging for animal powers. And I don't necessarily disagree with like, oh, that would be cool. It's just more of like, is that worth the time to implement? Um, but yeah, let's see. Okay, I guess technically from the example earlier, phasing through things is a is one of them, but like that genuinely is something which might literally delay the game months if if I have to do that. Um, so I'm begging you, please don't choose that. Um, let's see. What else? Shapeshifting. That's one that I don't that I haven't really done. Shapeshifting and like power stealing. That's stuff that I haven't really messed around too much with. Um, mind control. That's one I've been resistant to because I felt like it could break the meta a bit. Like it'd be a bit too overpowered. But like I can imagine ways you could nerf it. That could be fun. Um, let's see. Making clones of yourself. That would be very cool. Very difficult to do. I definitely wouldn't do that on my own. It's like making decoys of yourself and just having them run in different directions. That'd be a headache. Could you add a new island? I think you could add an island to the game. Well, I have added one so far, as you can see. But I'm guessing you mean like sort of a second island. And um, I think that I'm really holding back on adding multiple map areas until Superhero Life 4. I want to use the remakes. Like the remakes were always a single map ordeal. We're going to keep it with that, just keep it in scope. And then excuse me, then when Superhero Life 4 is out, that's when we start doing multiple map stuff. That's when we start getting creative with the maps. Um, let's see, decoys of yourself, but you actually try to run up. That would be fun. Mr. Fantastic powers would be functionally impossible until editable meshes are. And even then, that'll still be a nightmare. I really hope you don't ask me to do Mr. Fantastic powers. That actually would be like I don't even know how I do. Like I can imagine a world where I can get phase powers to work. Getting the Mr. Fantastic powers to work would require me learning some fancy math. Okay, stuck here. We have two slots. All right, yeah. I still think the prison should not be in a civilian area. I agree with you, and that's why it is sort of like off the coast in Superhero Life 3. For what it's worth, though, I did a better job with it this time around. Like right now, um, the prison is just basically in the industrial area. Like it's almost an offshoot of Syndicorp. Like it's literally right next to the factory and the construction site, and it's hidden by trees. Like at the end of the day, prisons usually are on the land. They like I grew up in Indiana. There wasn't any ocean for us to put them in. You just have a prison somewhere. Usually, you put it next to like the industrial areas, the non-people areas, and that's what I try to do this time. Um, let's see. An actual functioning parkour system would probably be too much for me to do normally. I did it briefly for Superhero Life 4, but that thing would not have scaled very well. So actually doing it right would be a headache. Let's see. Um, what are some good ones? Yeah, no, I think no, you are completely correct. Yeah, there's a reason they are so next to each other. I am literally going to put a tunnel between them. Yeah, the I would like to have more support powers too, Sparrow. I think you're completely right. There, right now, I think that those support powers are very good. Like whenever I play an FPS, I play as the medic because I have horrible reflexes, but I still want to help out. So definitely like having something like that, or kind of like maybe like the shield. Like I like being the shield guy in Overwatch, the rhinoceros guy. What was that guy's name? You know what I mean? The guy, the big gray guy with the shield. Um, Reinhardt, is that his name? Um, so skateboarding, that probably would be more of a vehicles thing. I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but I don't know if it would be a power, you know? Like, so you'll probably already get skateboards. I wouldn't recommend buying that if you want something new, because we'll probably do that in vehicles with the vehicles update when that comes out. Portals are fun. Let's see. I guess what if like that kind of like the teleporting thing that Nightcrawler does. That's pretty cool. They just have like just like the quick teleports, like just the dash teleports. The problem is there are actually a lot of really good powers, um, but like there are maybe half a dozen or so powers which just could not work um, in this kind of situation. Woo! Yeah. Getting hydrated. Yeah. The Yeah, I am trying to be healthier these days. Got a I got a new watch. It has a Fitbit in it, so I can see my heart rate. Not really sure what to make of it most of the time, but it's cool. When I'm biking more and I'm drinking more water and, just getting back into life. So, see-through portals, it's not impossible to get something that looks eh. The problem would be the textures and particle effects definitely would not transfer through it without some craziness. And there might be some performance issues. That's the only thing I can think of. But like, it is on the table. If you ask me to do that, I think I can. It's just like, I don't know how fun that would be from a user perspective once it's done. But like, hmm, yeah, I guess like, for the most part, let's see, what else is there? Yeah, we're gonna have more physics-based objects because of the destructible things, but at the end of the day, it's not exactly going to be a physics sandbox. Um, I don't actually know what her powers are. I know that she had that one scene where she like sort of lights up and then really destroys a guy, but I don't actually know what that is. Is that just like it just looks like the bullet from Mario Kart, you know? It's just well, so I guess telekinesis is loosely on the roadmap. It's more of like a once I had destructible items, telekinesis would be really cool to do, but it's not officially on the roadmap. It's just more of like a that would be cool. So if you wanted it to be telekinesis, I think that people have been asking for that for years, and it would be very cool and doable. It'd be a natural direction and stuff. It's just there's probably like a 45% chance that I do it anyway. I don't know if that's the right odds for you. I don't know. Like that's the thing. Like it's kind of a tough call in some ways. Nucleokinesis. That is a cool word. Mhm. She and Yuki are such a fun couple. It's always fun when you have like this the polar opposites together. Yeah, the let's see. What else is there? Hmm, I guess wrong word. What'd I say? Oh, did I make a goof? Let's see. What else is there? Oh, wait. I actually, never mind. Heroes. I think I know the power. That would be a pain, a huge pain for me to implement, but would be pretty cool. And I would probably say no to it in any other circumstance. Um, Being able to control plants, poison ivy style, that would be that would that'd be very cool. But that would be a tough one. It's not impossible, but you'd have to be. Yeah, like you like basically the idea would be like kind of like a vine based thing almost, where like the you'd have like the trees almost you'd rig the trees to kind of move, like you'd have like meshes for it, and then like have them like actually like grab people and stuff. Like you could basically turn any like vegetation into an ally. Like literally, like you could make this little grass here like a trap. Like if someone steps on it, it just like wraps around them and ties them down. You know, like I think that'd be pretty cool. And then like the trees themselves could be like, you know, swinging branches at you. But at the end of the day, it's your purchase. Yeah, like I could already just do things if I want, but you know, as I said, it's not a huge thing. I guess I don't know if you know. I actually there's another one that I know people would love you to do. Aquaman powers or something, or just force me to do water powers so that I have to do an underwater environment, you know? Like like just like force me to make things underwater, like to make an underwater compatible attack. You know, for you know, you be like you know, get that aspect of things working out. Um, let's see. Yeah, no, it's a popular one. Like honestly, like if you want to just buy it as like more of a general feature lock thing, like if there's something you really want to do, I'm okay. Like if you buy two of them, you know, you can just kind of ask for anything within reason. Like so long as you both agree that it's that it would make the game better. Here's the good faith nature of this. Whatever you ask for, I won't say no because it's difficult. I will say no because it would make the game worse. You know? Does that make sense? Like this is the place where you ask for cool things um, within, you know, yeah, but no, like honestly, it's up to, yeah, up to you. Obviously, at the end of the day, I still accept ideas for free. It's just, you know, kind of this sort of veto power is a unique situation. Um, I mean, like, sure, I guess, yeah, I think that a train would be very cool. I could imagine it right now. You'd have it like, you could have it go along this road, and then, you know, just kind of have it go underground for parts, and then have it pop back up over here and just go through the city this way. Um, but yeah, no, you could have a train would be perfectly cool. Yeah, the yeah, if that's what you want to add, I definitely think that would yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I actually lived in I lived in Washington Heights, which is right near a lot of those, and so I got to ride that train a lot. So yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, no, we can get that. Also, I was born in Chicago, which also has its own little elevated train thing. But yeah, no, we can definitely have that. Yeah, so if you want to cash in the two for a non-power, fully functioning train as the ultimate blimp upgrade, yeah, I think that we can probably do derailment. Yeah, that is true. The question is, how do we prevent it from being derailed every 10 seconds, you know? Like like how do we prevent it from just being like you know, just ripped off the track every single time someone saw it? Let's see. But I definitely am open to that if we can find a way to lock it down to be more of a special event, you know? Like maybe like it has to be like you have to have like three people attack the front car at once or something, you know, like it has to be like a group effort, you know? I think that that could be pretty fun. Actually, yeah, I think that'll be how we do it, you know? Like if all four people like hit the front car at once, they knock it off, you know? Let's see. I mean, like, hey, by all means, yours like, there's no rush. I mean, I guess there is a rush in the sense that I have talked a lot about it today, and someone else could buy it. But uh, I think that I like trains a lot. As you know, I made Infrastruct. I just never released it. Um, so I'd be very happy with the addition of trains to the game. How powerful is Santa canonically in Superhero Life 2? Elder God level. You don't fight Santa. You just hope he doesn't notice you. Um, have I seen Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 1? What? I have not heard of that. You recommend it? Oh, it's a Netflix thing. I was completely out of the loop on this. I have not heard of it. That is a fun idea. I Yeah. I mean, who who are heroes if not the IRS? I actually don't mind the IRS that much. I know people hate them, and like I get it. It's not a fun thing to pay your taxes. I do like giving back to society. Um, let's see. But no, I think that you could definitely buy like some NPC like judicial stuff. I if you wanted to set up force my hand to make like sort of a GTA 5 style NPC police system or something like that. That's uh, something that could be workable, you know? Hmm. Banana duplication power. I mean, Jimmy, for all you know, that power already exists. There's just not a single banana to duplicate from, you know? Yeah. Awesome. Well, I definitely will check it out. Thank you for recommending. One other dinosaur show I've been meaning to check out is the one made by the Samurai Jack guy. That one looks pretty good. Um, so skin retexturing is getting kind of tough, but it's not impossible. The problem is right now, so Roblox has 4 layers, I believe, of let me see if I can get my memory. There's normal maps, color maps, metal maps. I always forget the last one. Okay, let's see. Roughness maps. Because I always think of it as the normal map. I always mix them. But anyway, the problem is Roblox doesn't allow you to write or do much with and like humanoids are weird, and so they don't like render stuff in the same way, to my understanding. Um, it's not a definite no, but I definitely won't be able to do like neon skin, probably. I I might not be able to do material skin. I should be able to do material items and character stuff. So if you like wrap yourself in like a neon suit, that's more doable. I don't know about the skin itself because humanoids are just weird. I don't know how to explain it at this point. It's just humanoids do weird things, especially when layered clothing's involved. Um, yeah, no, textures, you should be able to do textures on the suits. Um, as Silent Spare has the different textures, I am probably going to try to support a tattoo and like scarring aspect to like layering textures on top of the skin. And that'll probably get you a lot of variability, but like I'm not gonna really you're not gonna have like a green arm, and like a I don't know. I just haven't seen enough compelling. You might be able to have like a lizard arm, like literally like swap it out to like a different arm type, but you wouldn't be able to just recolor something just for the sake of it. And anything that you could kind of imagine that where you might want to have your arm be a different color, that would probably be better supported as like a tattoo mechanic thing, you know? Like, because I can understand why someone might want to have like a sleeve on their character's arm of like tattoos, and we should be able to support that. But like, just make the arm green for no reason. I don't know. It seems like that opens the door more for making some characters that don't look all that good, and in the pursuit of other goals. You know, like I'd rather just directly address the desired goals. You know, let's see. Are you still adding the textures? Yes, yeah. Um, but yeah, you see. I need to start organizing the assets for the actual customization. The because as y'all may remember, I imported a lot of them a while back. Let's see how many I actually added. So you go into the data area. I don't want to like start from scratch with this, but these are probably too many data things. Like look at this. Look at how many assets I added. These are just the accessories. Um, then yeah, so here's the metadata for so there's all these different ones. Like, whoa, we got like 16,000 lines of these. Yeah, I definitely need to simplify stuff a bit. So the question is, what does that short list look like? And what do I actually do with that? Let's see how many hairs we have right now. So we now have, so if we assume each one of these is three, all right, so we now have over 500 hairs. A lot of them, if I remember correctly, are retextures, though. I feel like I didn't make this retexture logic too bulletproof because it's very clearly when you look at the actual asset numbers, it's like it isn't a retexture. This is bigger. This number is bigger. Oh well, with great names come great responsibility. Yeah, the I feel like obviously Spider-Man goes through some drama, but for the most part though, I would say I feel like Batman's the more like destined for tragedy, you know? Like I feel like for the most part, Spider-Man, while he has his ups and downs, he does very much have the ups. Meanwhile, like Batman, the best you get is like you can tell deep down he secretly kind of likes his family, you know? But it's not like he's not like happy. He's just brooding all the time. Oh no, I just thought about. I remember I saw Peter Parker, a comic where Peter Parker told off Doctor Doom, and then I realized, oh, we're not going to really get that because Peter Parker likes Tony Stark, and Marvel messed it up. Oh, why'd they do that? I don't get why. Is it? Can someone explain that to me? Why? Why did they make Doctor Doom Tony Stark? Because like I can understand wanting to bring Tony Stark back in some way, Robert Downey Jr. back in some way. And I can understand wanting to pivot to Doctor Doom, especially after how much of a jerk that one guy ended up being. Why do both of these things at once? Who wanted this? Like I'm not even like I'm just so confused, really, because like Disney will like announce something which I don't care about all the time. This one feels like it was designed to annoy as many people as possible. Like it literally is the one way you could get Robert Downey Jr. back, which I feel like would actually make people hate him. Like, but that's the problem, heroes. If he's masked all the time, why bring back Robert Downey Jr.? Then it just makes me think he's not going to have the mask on, because you know how these people who make superhero movies are. They hate giving him the costumes. They hate it. Like they're going to make him wear that mask for two scenes, and then they're just going to be, getting that paycheck worth of FaceTime with RDJ. I really, well, I don't like them. They're obviously not good movies, but there is like a charm to them. Like they're kind of made almost like a sitcom. Like there's something there. Believe it or not, the Fantastic Four might actually be an enjoyable franchise one day. Not in our lifetime, maybe, but maybe our grandchildren's. But that's the thing, Silent Sparrow. They could have just brought back Tony Stark. Or just like, they could have just made him evil Tony Stark. There are so many evil Tony Starks. They literally showed the Illuminati already. Like, they could have just had that. They could have just done that. Yeah, Jessica, blah. Superior Iron Man story win. Yeah, exactly. Like you can have RDJ back as the bad guy. That's not anyone's issue. The issue is you're specifically taking one of the most like fan favorite characters. This is up there, I swear. This is up there with like sewing Deadpool's mouth shut. Like literally, who are you making happy with this? Wait, what ethnicity is Doctor Doom? Isn't he a white guy? Am I missing something? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Where's Latveria? I know it's a fictional country, but like I feel like everyone kind of knows. So it's like a little tiny place right next to Hungary, Romania, Serbia, and Croatia. Okay. Okay, yeah, that I don't know too much about Doctor Doom to be honest. Other than the fact that like I mean it's kind of clear it's just clear that like he's a cool idea. It's like the magic meets like it's like all like the Doctor Strange and Iron Man combo. Plus, like with like a Magneto kind of owns his own country charisma. Like I think that it's a really cool idea, and it's fallen to the Fantastic Four curse. What is wrong with Fantastic Four as a franchise? Why can't it ever get anything good? Why is the second that something is tangentially related to Fantastic Four, it's immediately garbage? Doctor Doom is the GOAT in the comics. When will we get a Doctor Doom as the GOAT in a movie? Uh, it's because I messed up my sleep schedule. Yeah, I've been awake for 18 hours. I should probably be sleeping soon. I mean, no, I've been working for 18 hours. I've been awake for like 19, 20. Oh yeah, I believe it. Raiden, I will say it'd be much funnier if it wasn't like Tony Stark just happens to have this is like Doctor just happens to be a guy who looks exactly like Tony Stark for some reason. Nobody ever addresses it. It's just like they just kind of everyone just kind of goes along with it. Nobody ever brings it up. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be from a different universe. I just don't get it. Like, okay, yeah, no, that's the thing. You're exactly right, Razor. Like, literally, anytime something is ever related to Fantastic Four, it's a curse. We're never gonna get a good Galactus. We're never gonna get a good Doctor Doom. We're never gonna get a good Fantastic Four, and we need to accept this. I don't know what happened. So there was like some. It's like with the person who made the Fantastic Four. They made like a deal with the devil. Like you're gonna make great comics and horrible movies, and they were like, "Well, movies aren't that big right now. People love comics." Oh, how things have changed. But yeah, I did watch Deadpool and Wolverine this weekend. I really liked it. Everyone who said it was good was completely right, and I was a cynical curmudgeon for expecting otherwise. Though deservedly so. They've made a lot of bad movies recently. I'm not going to spoil it. Wolverine's in it. Um, yeah, enjoy. It's really good. Yeah, I hope that the casting for the Galactus and New Fantastic Four movies is not a hero's recommendation. I think that'd be a stinker. Um, let's see. I mean, Pedro Pascal's a good actor. He's getting a bit old though. I feel like like obviously Reed Richards is no spring chicken, but I feel like Reed Richards. I feel like Pedro Pascal's like a decade away, maybe like 5 years away from only being able to do like gray hair roles. Like just like old man roles. Like it's kind of like how like Wolverine, where like at the end of X-Men of like X3, like there was like maybe like there's like a 10-year window where like okay he's getting old enough like now we have to do old man Logan. Like he just had to be the older version of the character at that point. I would rather see someone a little bit younger. Honestly, John Krasinski I feel like was an okay choice. Obviously they already burnt that bridge. It's not going to happen, but like yeah, like I think that yeah, no, like they had fun with it. That's good and all. I don't. John Davies Washington. I recognize his name. I don't know the face. Oh, it's the guy from Tenet. I've literally only seen him in Tenet, so I don't know too much about him beyond that. I mean, obviously, the internet would lose its mind because the internet's crazy like that. But like beyond the obvious, it can't. It would be nothing compared to the drama they've created by casting Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Uh, well, I don't. I mean, like, obviously, the fact that Inhumans was a popular enough comic to get a TV show. I don't think the issue with Inhumans is the story; it's the implementation. You know, you can do fun stuff, but no, I think that I do think that John David Washington probably brings like the some of like the sternness almost like the stiffness that like Reed Richards has, like kind of like that sort of cold calculating aspect. Like I think like, from seeing him in Tenet, I can kind of imagine like sort of the calm collected aspect. I can see how that worked. But there was a time when people thought I looked like Quake, but I've gotten old. Got so old. Let's see. The I learned about Inhumans by watching a Cosmonaut Quickie tearing it to shreds. Or was it a Mr. Sunday Movies? It was one of the two. Yeah, I look like a 40-year-old has-been. Honestly, fitting. It's a fair fate for me. The the MCU did not know what to do with the Marvels. They I don't know what happened with that. That was just such a weird misstep on their part. Like you can I will say I did like in the Miss Marvel TV show that they actually had some fun with the artistic aspect of it. Like I liked that they were more creative with the shot compositions and like the sort of drawn stuff on the screen. I thought that was cool. I like it when they do that. I like it when comic book movies kind of embrace weirdness a little bit. Um, so I'm not excited for the new Captain America movie. I don't think it's anything wrong with the new casting necessarily. It's just like I never really liked Captain America's movies. I felt like they were a little bit too boring. Like it's a superhero universe. I don't want to watch Jason Bourne. That exists. Jason Bourne exists. You can watch a Jason Bourne movie. I don't need to watch that in Marvel because Marvel's not good enough at it. I don't think they're necessarily bad movies, but I I feel like I just I've never been excited about him, and I feel like the Red Hulk just looks so bad in that CGI scene. He looks like the Ang, like was it the Ang Lee? Like he looks like it was like '90s Hulk. Like it's like how do y'all get that? What pay the VFX artists? They're obviously doing this out of spite at this point. Please let them unionize, let them sleep, let them make something good. I don't necessarily mind it being Harrison Ford. It's fun seeing Harrison Ford doing things. He's probably who I'll end up being, just a grumpy old man forced to continue working because I will not save anything from my retirement. Um, I just think that they really need to get a handle on that. It's just, I don't know. I thought the soundtrack of the trailer felt all right. That the actual like the clock ticking sound that was kind of cool. But beyond that, I don't know. Maybe I I don't remember the original Ross actor beyond he had a mustache. Zone, why do you keep repeating this? Please, I haven't slept in like 19, 20 hours. Don't do this to me. Um, let's see. But yeah, no, like I will say I never watched the Marvels. It, I know I didn't like the original Captain Marvel. Like, I think it's very easy to understand why Captain Marvel failed, and then Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, that is, like the first Wonder Woman and the first Captain Marvel are very similar films to an extent. There's like they have like the outsider angle, obviously strong woman character, um, but despite that, in Wonder Woman, they actually spent a lot of time. Is it a charisma thing? I don't know. It's just I feel like everyone kind of walked away from the Wonder Woman thing being like, oh yeah, that was fun. It was just like, it felt like Captain America, you know? Like they put effort into making them a noble person. And I feel like they just made her like it I think they were trying to do like an Iron Man thing with her. They're trying to like make her like a Tony Stark character or something, like always snarky. But I feel like they didn't land with like I feel like part of what makes Tony Stark work is he's kind of pathetic in his own way, you know? Like you can tell he's kind of a joke to an extent. I don't know. That movie was weird. Maybe I should rewatch it, honestly. Because I just try to figure out why did I like Wonder Woman so much more than the original Captain Marvel when they're at a surface level pretty similar. Uh, I have no idea who Monaco Rambo's powers are. I didn't watch the Black Widow. Honestly, I'm a fraud, yo. I haven't watched like an MCU film. The first MCU film I've watched in years was Deadpool, which was great. Shame it's an MCU film now, but um, I think the last one I watched before that was the Spider-Man movie. That was good, and it was also a pretty long time ago. I don't know, Zone. How many? Oh, okay. So like the one from the first movie that like was kind of her friend. Okay. Yeah, no, I've watched there's a small chance I haven't actually watched the first Thor film. I've seen parts of it. I don't know if I've ever sat down and watched it from start to finish. And that probably will not change. I don't remember liking it very much. But all the rest of them I think I've seen. I think now I'm actually curious. Okay, let's see. Starting out, okay, I watched Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, maybe Thor, the Avengers. I did, guys, you'll never believe this. I saw the Avengers. The No Way Home was good. I feel like it's not very rewatchable. I feel like it was definitely a movie that was best in the theaters, but I enjoyed it. Um, Hot take, I actually enjoyed the first Ant-Man. I think the first Ant-Man was like I probably enjoyed the first Ant-Man more than I enjoyed Winter Soldier, being completely real with y'all. Like I don't like the spy Marvel spy stuff. It's boring to me. Ant-Man, I felt had a lot of personality. You could feel that Edgar Wright touch left over on it. I really liked first Ant-Man. Second Ant-Man, mm, no. Also, this is actually a critique that I feel like got really solid. In the first Ant-Man, where he was just kind of a loser, I kind of was more okay with it. Second Ant-Man, do all of Ant-Man's friends just hate him? I think his wife hates him. I think his father-in-law hates him. His I haven't seen him interact with his daughter for a while, but I'm guessing she probably hates him too. Like I feel like everyone's just mean to this man, and as far as I can tell, he's a perfectly likable, normal person. I don't get it. Like they treat Ant-Man like I feel like people should be treating Iron Man. You know, like when someone's rude to Iron Man, you kind of get it because the guy's a jerk. Why are they being mean to Ant-Man? I don't know. I don't get it. Um, okay, so the first, um, huh? Did you know that? Oh no, it's far from. Okay, so oh, I forgot. I saw Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I completely forgot about that film. Did they ever do cameos from Shang-Chi into the other films? Like, what happened to Shang-Chi? Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm not saying that right. Okay, like, yeah, like I remember of the part I saw clips of it. I think I saw the first half. I think I saw the first half, and I thought it was pretty good. You know, for like a Phase 4 Marvel film, you know, and I feel like I never. I feel like it doesn't connect that much. Well, no, Wong is obviously helping Doctor Strange, and I feel like Wong was in that movie, right? Um, yeah, they just, I just, it feels like it almost feels like Avatar effect or something. Where like, like, I remember it being good. I do not remember anything about it other than the dad's fight with the mom was pretty good for Marvel stuff. Um, okay, maybe I saw it the post credit scene. I don't know. Has did anybody from Eternals ever go and meet anyone else? Like for real? Like I know these are more recent films, so they haven't had as much time, but like it did come out 3 years ago. You know, like when was the last Eternals reference in the MCU? Like, man, I hope I make a good game after Superhero Life 2 that's like not superhero related. Because I don't know how much longer this genre has. It might just I feel like we're going for like a full like 1980s video game crash when it comes to superhero media. Like how many layers of meta can we layer things? Yeah, I accept your analysis, Silent Sparrow, that Eternal was a fever dream. I, honestly, you know, that's the thing here. I was like, they have a giant dude sticking out of the ocean now. That is like a massive thing, and it never comes up. Like literally, anytime anything ever happens on this planet, there are memes about it. The culture just shifts to make jokes about it. There should be never-ending jokes and memes in the universe. People should have entire new sayings based on the giant head coming out of the ocean, but they don't. Same thing with the honestly hot take. The world didn't get messed up enough by Thanos. Everyone disappearing for 5 years did not have enough of an effect. Not at all. They should have gone a lot farther with it. Yeah. I did not know that zone. Is that like an official number or is this a lead up to a joke? Um, I mean, I guess it makes sense for them to add in adamantium. Can someone remind me which one's stronger, adamantium or vibranium? Or is it kind of like a hardness versus like, like the stuff like bounce off of vibranium, like vibranium like deform, yeah, like and adamantium's like a diamond. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Mm, should have guessed. I should have guessed. I don't know. You guys are comic book people. I thought you'd know. Usually, when I ask generic comic book questions, there's like 10 people immediately diving over each other to explain it to me. It's all right. I mean, I guess if y'all don't know. See, Hero knew. The Hero living up to their name, the hero we needed. Um, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I thought Urdu was a language. What am I thinking about? Isn't isn't it? Or am I just mixing stuff up? No, it's a language. Yeah, it's an Indian language. Okay. Honestly, Thor being the god of hammers, as far as I'm concerned, that's canon. Uru. Okay, it's like that sounds familiar. I thought it was like maybe like Asgard of like Hinduism, but that would probably be more offensive because there are a lot of active. I mean, there's probably some people who still worship like Thor and Odin and stuff, but I think we can agree that it wouldn't nearly be as touchy as if you made a superhero based off of an actively, you know, gotcha. Gosh darn autocorrect. I miss Mjolnir. I don't like the axe. Does he ever get that back? I didn't see Thor 4 because I don't like Marvel movies anymore. Um, I think I think his girlfriend got it, right? Am I just looking at this from the outside, or is Uru a silly name? Like I feel like that it's like in Star Wars when like Vader's cape or something was made of like woohoo hide or something. It's like that just sounds ridiculous. I like the way you put that. Like, yeah, it reforms to protect her, but she dies, and so thankfully he gets it back. Okay. It all ends happily. I don't know why. I never figured out why. My mom hates Natalie Portman. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened between them. But every time Natalie Portman is on screen for anything, my mom just is like just talking garbage, just sending hate her way. She's not like this about any other celebrities, to my understanding. It's just uh, old rivalry, I guess. Feud going back centuries. Huh? Is that how that works? That that seems contrived. I'd love to see like the list of Mjolnir powers on like the superhero wiki. Like, can summon lightning, like like hypermass, can remove all the chemotherapy from your body. Okay. Uh, I feel like everyone whose name, like nobody can be born being named God Spider. They gotta just be named Jake for a while, you know? Like you gotta earn that title. You gotta grow into it. Well, isn't that every MCU film? Like the last, like I can think of like one comic that was clearly worse uh, than the TV show, and it was The Boys. And frankly, this last season of The Boys, let's just say that I think the spirit of Garth Ennis haunts that show. Like I will say I was very aware that The Boys was not was showing some yellow to red flags. Like just there's it had some bad habits that I feel were growing over the seasons, and I just this last season I didn't even watch more than the first episode yet. It's just exhausting show. I want more Invincible. I want Amazon to stop making The Boys, triple the Invincible animation budget to $15, and yes, yes, please. I want like a Game of Thrones style thing for like Invincible, just like except for the ending. I don't want. I don't. Maybe I just cursed it. I'm sorry. I meant like I need 8 seasons of it with like premier high budgets, not like I need it to have its entire story ruined by a horrible final seasons. Yeah, no, Invincible's great. Invincible is like the one thing keeping me sane and happy. When I'm feeling demotivated in the superhero genre, I can watch Invincible and feel okay. And I think that's because secretly Invincible is just a sci-fi instead of a superhero. Like it'll do the whole superhero dance, but like it's much more of like a Star Wars kind of like you know, like interplanetary Star Trek kind of or like even like a Dragon Ball comparison. I think makes more sense even. Like I feel like Invincible is closer to like a Dragon Ball than a Spider Man. Does that make sense? Um, this is an unusual early stream. That is true. That is true. And but still, it feels so late. I think I'm gonna tap out soon. Okay, send me here. That this will be my final heroic action before I am become sleepy, ender of live streams. I think that I think he should be legendary. Jake the Legendary, they call him. Let's see. I believe in you. Heroes, just post the link. Can you post the link? Is our links banned? It's probably good. You can add it in the Discord if you want. Yeah, but okay, off topic. You'll post a lot of weird stuff here. Oh, all right, here we go for CJ. What? Dang, that's great. I'm just so glad that we have like enough good software to allow people to just animate anything these days. So much good animation stuff out there now for like from like amateur like just like indie creatives, I guess. Yeah, but no, but yeah, no. Thank you for sharing. It's been great talking to y'all. CJ out. Have a great day. I will probably be streaming earlier while I loop back around. But yeah, goal is to return to that original time. All right. Nice talking to y'all. Peace.